Alright class, today is just doing inverse trig and also typing in trig functions in your calculator. When you evaluate a trig function, find the ratio. We always round that to 4 decimals and check to make sure you're in the correct mode. Okay, so for these first 4 we're going to be in degree mode. But first, so number 1 you can just type in. But 2, 3, and 4 we don't have buttons on our calculator for those. So before we can type them in, I'm going to rewrite them. Secant is the same thing as the reciprocal of cosine. So in our calculator, we're going to type in cosine of 1 over cosine of 463. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. And cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. Now, remember, you never flip just the angle. We flip the whole ratio. So the ratio is the thing that flips, and since this represents a ratio, we flip the whole thing. So now I'm going to type in, I'm going to just show you how to type in one of these and then write the answers for the others. So for example, number 2, make sure your mode is in degree, which mine was not. And then you do 1 divided by cosine of 463. And you get negative 0.4454. So that's the ratio of secant of 463, negative 4.4454. You can do that for the other 3. This one you can just type in sine of 327, and you get 5446. So if you want to try these, pause the video and then see what happens if you get them. Number 4 is negative 3.6280. And then this one here actually turns out to be undefined, and you'll get an error in your calculator. Okay, these down here are the same thing except for they're in radians. So before I type anything in, I'm going to change this one to cosine of 3 pi over 7, and this one to 1 over sine of negative 5 pi over 9. Okay, the other 2 you can just type in as is. Make sure you change to radians. I'll pick one. I'll pick one of the upside down ones. Which one will I do? I'll do 1 over sine of negative 5 pi over 9. Show you how that looks. Remember, you can do alpha y equal to get the fraction bar. 1 over sine, and then you can do another alpha y equal. And I think this one was negative 5 pi over 9. And there we are. And you should get negative 1.0154. So, this one turns out to be negative 1.0154. This one will be negative 1. Again, pause it if you don't want to see these. Try them first. And this one is 4.4940. A few people are rounding that incorrectly in class. Okay. So that is finding trig ratios. Now we're going to find the angles, which is using inverses. So we're going to inverse both sides to solve for theta, because to get rid of a sine you have to sine inverse. They cancel each other out. So we get theta is equal to sine inverse of this ratio. It's basically asking what angle, it's a reverse of what we just did up above. What angle are we at that has a sine, that has a ratio of 0.5723 for sine? Same thing for this one. Theta equals tan inverse of 4.8762. So for these, when it says degrees rounded to the nearest minute, we have to go back to our calculator and go to degrees. Now before we do that, I'm going to scroll down and do the other 2 as well. Now these you have to be careful because we have to turn these into other trig functions. So we know that if we flip this ratio, that is the same thing as sine theta. So for this one, you do sine inverse of 1 over 1.4632. The reciprocal of cotangent is tangent, so we can flip the ratio. So our theta that we're going to enter in is tan inverse of 1 over 0.25878. Now these, be careful. Well, this one is just you type it in. It's already solved, so literally you just type that in. This one though, here's what people do that's wrong. They see that it's cosecant, so they try to flip this whole thing and say it's 1 over sine inverse of 3.2578. That is incorrect. You want to flip the trig ratio and turn it into sine. So this will turn into sine inverse of the flip of 3.2578 equals theta. So that's how you do that. All right, now once you have all these written out, you can type them in. So it doesn't matter which one you pick. I'll just pick the first one. Sine inverse of 0.5723, so second sine of 0.5723. You hit enter. I want that in degrees minutes, so I hit second apps number 4. And it should say answer to DMS. Again, you need to be in degrees. And remember, to round to nearest minute, these are in seconds. 38 seconds is closer to the next minute, so this should be 34 degrees, 55 minutes. So theta equals 34 degrees, 55 minutes. Okay, you can pause the video and try the other ones. I'm going to just write the answers now because I'm not going to show all the type-ins. You guys should be able to type into your calculators. So this one should be 43 degrees, 7 minutes. This one should be 75 degrees, 33 minutes. This one should be 42 degrees, 17 minutes. And when you type it in like this, you should get theta is equal to 17 degrees, 53 minutes. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is exact. And you can actually find exact radian angles in your calculator. Now, some of you guys should be able to do this without a calculator, because you should know when x is root 3 over 2 in your unit circle. It should be pi over 6. And actually, let's just say that. Again, because the x-coordinate is root 3 over 2 when you go at a 30-degree reference. So let's check that, though, in our calculator. So let's go back to radian mode, because we have to be in radian mode. And normally when we do this problem, we would have to do cosine inverse of root 3 divided by 2. And then close that off. Hit enter. So we have that number. I don't know what that is. It's some random decimal. However, it's pi over something. So if you want to know what the fraction is, just divide by pi. And sure enough, if you math frac that, you get 1/6. So that means my answer is actually pi over 6. I just divided the pi out to see what the fraction part was. So sure enough, this was pi over 6. So you can try that for these three as well. It's just tan inverse of 1. And when you divide by pi, you get 1/4. So this should be pi over 4. This should be pi over 3. This should be negative pi over 4. So try those on the calculator. If you have questions, come in for help. And that's how you use your calculator to find trig ratios and to find angles.